um, I will request every one of you to study properly so that we can, once I teach you a subject, explain a topic, it is better to study at home. So yesterday we have seen readers writers problem, and today we will start with dining philosophers problem. Does anyone have any idea about dining philosophers problem? What is dining philosophers problem? Any idea?
No, ma'am.
So I'm sharing my slide. All of you able to view my slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
As you can see in this diagram, a circular table is shown, and philosophers are sitting. Five philosophers are sitting, and within each philosopher, like suppose P1 and P2. In between P1 and P2, a ball of noodles is there, and there is one chopstick and there is two chopsticks on both the sides. Whenever a philosopher will eat noodle, he will require to use both the chopsticks. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
No, ma'am. Can you repeat again?
once again I am repeating, everyone try to listen carefully. Between each philosopher, a bowl of noodle is kept. Between P1 and P2, there is a bowl of noodle. Between P2 and P3, there is a bowl of noodle. Between P3 and P4, there is a bowl of noodle. Between P4 and P5, there is a bowl of noodle. And between P5 and P1, there is a bowl of noodle. Okay. Now, there are two chopsticks which are kept in which a philosopher needs to use. That means when philosopher P2 will start eating noodles, then he will require two chopsticks. One from right hand side, one from right hand and one from left hand side. Okay. Here it is important to understand the concept. If it can be considered as also, like in this figure they have shown only one ball of noodles. In the middle it is kept. However, chopsticks are kept at both sides of each philosopher. Now look into the diagram and tell me whether all the philosophers will be able to eat at the same time by picking up two chopsticks from his or her side. Will it be
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Why? Because chopsticks.
There are 5 chopsticks.
Because
Yes.
there are 5 chopsticks
Yes.
and everybody will take one chopstick at least.
Exactly. That means there is sharing of resource. Chopstick can be considered as a resource which is shared among philosophers. And each and every philosopher cannot share that same resource at the same time. There must be some rule to solve this problem. Either a rule can be that all of the philosophers cannot eat together, or maybe alternate philosophers will not eat together. Like When philosopher P2 will start eating, maybe P1 and P3 will not eat. Something like that. The solution will be something, the solution will impose restrictions on picking up of chopsticks of the philosopher. Let us look into the solution. Wait. These we have studied in yesterday's class. Now, what is solution of dining philosopher's problem? A solution of dining philosopher is to use a semaphore to represent a chopstick. A chopstick can be picked up by executing a weight operation on the semaphore and released by executing a signal semaphore. That means whenever a philosopher picks up a chopstick, then it will execute weight operation for others. And once they put down the chopsticks, then release operation is executed by a signal semaphore. So weight and signal, these are the two keywords or characteristics in the solution of dining philosopher's problem. A solution of dining philosopher's problem is to use a semaphore. Semaphore was a common variable. I don't know how many of you remember. It is to use a semaphore to represent a chopstick. A chopstick can be picked up by executing a weight operation on the semaphore and released by executing a signal semaphore. The structure of the chopstick is shown below. Semaphore, chopstick, and then the number of chopstick. Why chopstick is an array? Because it is a continuous memory allocation. One after another, the chopsticks are placed. So it is kept in an array. Initially, the elements of chopsticks are initialized to 1 as the chopsticks are on the table and not picked up by philosopher. This is the structure which is shown. Weight, chopstick, I plus I modulus operator is written. What is the, when we use modulus operator, what is the value of that operator? Don't know how many of you remember.
Ma'am, when we need reminder.
Yes, remainder is returned. So this is just an algorithm implementation of the solution of dining philosopher's problem. When the philosopher is picking up the chopstick and is eating, then he executes weight. And after eating the rice or eating the noodles, signal command is executed. This is the feature or the working of solution of dining philosopher's problem. Here it is explained further. In this structure, first weight operation is performed on chopstick I and chopstick I plus 1 modulus operator 5. This means that, what is the exact meaning of these two lines? This means that the philosopher I has picked up the chopstick on his sides. then the eating function is performed. After that, signal operation is performed on chopstick I and chopstick I plus 1 modulus operator 5. I think this explanation is clear to you all. I will request every one of you to study once, and then if there is problem anywhere or the problem persists, you have not understood properly, then I will solve your problem. So that was all for yesterday's slide. Now I will share something new. I think my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us start with today's presentation. Critical section. Critical section is itself a broad topic. So in your markout syllabus, a whole lecture is dedicated. This, as per lesson plan, as per the syllabus of markout, critical section is a broad topic, and whenever operating system is studied, different working of multi-processing operating system is studied, then it is necessary to understand the critical section of operating system. I think every one of you must be having an idea. Critical section. When a process is accessing shared modifiable data or a resource that can only operate on behalf of one process at a time, the process is said to be in critical section. When one process is in critical section, all other process, at least those that access the shared modifiable data or resource, are excluded from their critical section. I think it is clear to you all. That means if n processes all competing to use some shared data, each process has a code segment called critical session. Problem is to ensure that when one process is executing in its critical section, no other processes are allowed to execute in the critical section. I will explain it. I will share my whiteboard and what I will study. Example of critical section. Okay. Example of critical section. What is that example? Suppose the instruction is transfer So transfer rupees 100 from saving account to checking account. Checking account is something which is not exact. This is the instruction. This is an example of critical section, and what is the command or what is the function that will be done, what is the action that will be taken? Transfer rupees 100 from saving account to checking account. Okay. P1. Right.
What is checking account?
What happened?
What is checking account?
Checking account is temporary account. When a deduction is being made from your account to from creditor's account to debitors account, some intermediate transactions takes place, and after those intermediate transactions are completed, only the account's value is reflected at receiver's end. So checking account can be considered as a temporary account which is prepared solely to check the working. What will be the problem? Okay, now P1 and P2.
Okay, ma'am.
Everyone, please stay muted. Savings is equal to savings minus 100. Wait. I will write it in similar manner, else you all can think that I'm doing different thing. Okay, this is one statement, and another statement is saving is equal to saving one point. This is the formula. And then there is another account. We named it as checking. What will happen? Checking.
हम 1.10 कहाँ से आया?
It is just a
1.01.
calculation. Maybe it can be any interest rate, like every year interest rate varies. It can be home loan rate, anything. It is a fixed amount. There are several types of interest, several types of calculations which are done as per RBI ruling, isn't it? So you
Okay,
can,
so ma'am, this is an assumption.
no, the example is itself an assumption. There
Yes, ma'am.
practical
Means,
world, there is nothing called checking account, but it is
yes,
itself
ma'am.
an assumption. It is just an example of critical section, nothing else.
Okay.
Checking is equal to checking one must learn what were the initial value of savings and checking. Without initial value, we cannot calculate this. Initially, savings 100 and also saving was 100 and checking was 0. This was the initial amount. Okay. Now I will give you 3 situations and all of you will tell me the value of initial savings and initial account and initial, it must be initial. Okay. Now all of you will tell me the value of savings account and checking account. Ready? The first situation is P1 ran first and P2 ran second. What will be the value?
I'm saving equals to 0, checking is 100.
P1 ran, let me write and then I will. P1 ran first. P2 ran second. So value of S. Savings is equal to what you have said, Suraj? Repeat again.
And 0. Ma'am, saving equals to 0 and checking equals to 100.
100.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it's 100.
Wait, P1 run first. 0, 100. You are only executing P1. Listen carefully. You are not saying correct things. First P1 is executed. Whatever value you are saying, it is after process P1. Run P2 and then
Yes,
take.
ma'am.
What happened?
Ma'am, your voice got disturbed.
After process P1, what is the value of savings and checking?
Only after P1 it is savings equals to 0 and checking equals to 100.
But I am
Only
telling
after
you the
P1 execution.
situation. P1 ran first, P2 ran second. Now tell me what is the value of savings and checkings.
Okay, just
Any one of you can tell. Why it is only he who is telling the answer? Others don't know how to calculate or what? Come on, I'm waiting for an answer. Not getting answer from anyone. Who will answer? Emily, are you there?
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
is
Can you see the question you have
ma'am,
heard or you have not heard?
Yes, ma'am. I heard.
You don't know simple calculation,
Just
simple
calculating,
addition and
ma'am.
subtraction?
Yes, ma'am. Calculating. Just give me.
ma'am is C equals to 101.
C is equal to 101. And what about S? Emily, you don't know 0 multiplied by any number is 0. You have not learned in class 1, 2. You
Yes, ma'am.
are from which school?
Baranagar Rajkumari Memorial Girls High School.
They have not taught you. You are saying I am just calculating. Any one of you. I'm not telling only you. Anyone, those who are present. Either all of you don't come to my class, or if you come to my class, come prepared. Study at home. I cannot think that BCS third year students don't know that 0 multiplied by anything is 0. Everyone is saying, okay madam, I am calculating, and the rest are silent. Navamita Bera, what is the value of S and C?
Yes. S is 0.
S is 0 and C
C
is C is
100 plus 100 200.
100 plus 100.
Then taking a value of 100 kilo.
Please leave the classroom. I don't want you to stay in my class. Please leave. Either you leave or I will remove you from the class. You're not listening. You're just spending time. If you want to stay in my class, you have to answer. You cannot keep on listening to the several stories. Okay, I am attending class. You're simply listening story. What happened, Navamita? I asked you to leave the class. Either you answer properly or leave the class. Navamita Bera, are you able to listen or not? You don't know 100 multiplied by 1.01? I am removing you from my class. Ankita Roy, will you answer? Ankita Roy, roll number 25. Ankita Roy, roll number 25. Will you answer or not? No answer. Fine. I am removing you. Moithili Dattagupta.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me the value of S and C. S is 0. What is the value of C?
Ma'am, C 101.
101. How did you calculate? First of all, tell me the name of school so that I can.
Ma'am, কেটে গেল আওয়াজটা।
Yes, answer.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
ম্যাম আওয়াজটা পুরো কেটে গেল, আমি কোনো কিছু শুনতেই পেলাম না, আরেকবার একটু বলবেন?
কি বলে যাচ্ছিলাম এতক্ষণ ধরে, কি ডিসকাস করছিল, কিচ্ছু শোনাই? লাস্ট 15 মিনিট ধরে আমি চেঁচিয়ে
না ম্যাম শুনেছি, আপনার লাস্ট আওয়াজটা কেটে গেল যে আপনি কি জানতে চাইলেন সেই জিনিসটা।
ভ্যালু জানতে চাইছি, লাস্ট আওয়াজে ভ্যালু জানতে চাইনি। at least 10 minutes ধরে this discussion is going on. I want you to know, tell me the value of S and C. How will you calculate the value of C?
C এর ভ্যালু ম্যাম 100 ইনটু 1.01 থেকে ইনটু করেছিলাম।
কত আসবে?
101
101. So why it is taking so much time? তোমরা কোন স্কুল থেকে পড়ালেখা করো যে এতক্ষণ টাইম লাগে তোমাদের বলতে? মানে বোধহয় ক্লাস 2 এর বাচ্চাকে দাঁড় করিয়ে দিলে সে তোমাদের থেকে আগে অ্যানসার দিয়ে দেবে। এতক্ষণ টাইম লাগে তোমাদের? Shame on you people. Shame. Simply earning a degree is not enough. Take admission in school from class 1, again start reading. What will be the answer of S and C? Who will tell?
Ma'am, S equals to 1 and C equals to 101.
S is equal to 1
1 and C is equals to 101.
equal to 101. Wait.
Yes, ma'am, because 0 plus only 100 is coming over there, and again 100 is multiplying with 101.
First
1.01.
P2
So
is
the value will be 101.
First P2 is executed. After execution of
Okay,
P2,
I'm sorry. Ma'am, it's 10. Yes, ma'am, 101.
101. After everyone 101, why only Suraj is answering? Why others are silent? Shankolita, what will be the value of S and C?
Ma'am, S equals to 0 and checking is equal to 100 into 1.01 is equal to 101.
S is equal to 0. How S is
No,
equal
No,
to
sorry.
no, that is the first
S
case.
equal to
No, that is the
1,
first
1,
case.
1.
What is the value of S?
1.
C? What is the value of C?
101.
Ma'am, 101.
101. What? I couldn't. It's so disgusting to teach all of you. After the completion of process P2, what will be the value of C?
Ma'am, the value of C is 0.
After completion of P2, what will be the value of C?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
right over here,
ma'am,
only 100 is coming from the savings account to checking account, so
Look
it will
properly.
execute the
Initially,
process P2.
don't stop. Initially, the value of C was 0. Please learn
Yes.
class 1 or class 2 books that 0 multiplied by anything comes to 0. First of all of you need to learn. Study multiplication tables. If it is not possible, study multiplication table or take tuition from some primary school students. They will tell you. So initially the value of checking is 0. When process P2 is executed first,
Plus 100.
the checking amount is 0 because 0 multiplied by 1.01 comes to 0. That means the value of checking is 0. And then process P1 ran second. In process P1, checking is equal to checking plus 100. That means 0 plus 100 comes to 100. So the value of C is 100. Was it so difficult? I am ashamed of you. All
Ma'am,
of
actually, we were taking the savings account money to the checking account.
it's properly
We
written.
were executing that.
And checkings account, what is the initial value that I have also written? I am just changing the execution pattern. First P1 executes, then P2 executes. What does it shows? That if critical section is not executed properly, then it will affect the value of the variables involved in it. So execution of critical section is very important. That was important to learn, and for explaining this I have to work so much. I couldn't understand why you people are so weak in maths, why you couldn't understand simple concept. At least Suraj, Shankolita, Emily, they are responding. Others are not at all listening. Not at all listening. No one is ready to answer. And from next class, I want every one of you to show your face. You will unmute, you will show your face, you will open your video at least for a few minutes. I know bandwidth consumption is more, net problem is there, but at least for a few minutes. That's all for today. I have nothing to say. Lots of time I have gone explaining this. I am ending the meeting.